and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Podcast. In these segments, I'm going to be having specific topics with just me. So, with that being said, feel free to comment. Let me know what you need me to talk about. But I may already be talking about a lot of things that y'all may already want to hear. And this tonight is going to be titled Self-Love. So let me start by this. I need everybody to close your eyes. Bryce, close your eyes. Tell yourself, I love you. I'm sorry for hurting you. I'm sorry for not treating you the way that I should. And I'm sorry for protecting other people before you. And just make sure that I will continue to do better from this day forward. All right. And now, with this whole self-love concept, it goes back to just me and my life with situations and relationships, especially with myself and other females growing up. And I allowed a lot of crazy things to happen to me. And I know a lot of it had to do with just the pressure of what my mom and dad have. Like, my parents been married 32 years now. And it's like me always growing up wanting that and not really knowing how to get it. And then me setting the time frame for when I want everything to happen. Like, say for instance, I always said that I want to be married, have kids before I'm 30. So, it's like a lot of pressure, and you deal and go through a lot of different things when you have that set. And then I also had a problem with just what I was looking for in women. Like, I always was like, I ain't gonna be the type of dude to date a woman who had kids. So I always would only talk to or take serious people who didn't really have kids until, now. But it was just like, I dealt with things like women being verbally abusive towards me. Some women like attempting to want to be a physical. Like, I ain't never deal with that, but it almost got to women threatening to kill themselves in front of me. All this just because I'll be ready to leave them alone. And then it's like they had caused me to stay in certain situations that I should have left a long time ago. And that goes with a lot of really my whole upbringing since high school, and really from graduating and becoming sexually active, especially like during college, and how I was. It was like I really searched for love through having sex with women. And it went from dealing with people from my 20s all the way to dealing with people in the 50s, from 20s to 50s. And it's just like I really had to reflect on why I was doing that, because I really felt certain enjoyment out of women letting me know how much they enjoy having sex with me. And it's like I started to crave that. And that's why, like, when it came to having girlfriends, it was really hard for me, and I didn't really deal with it because I was too busy still worried about outside females. So like when I did start having girlfriends, it was somewhat hard for me to do and deal with, especially with the women. Like I said, I only would choose certain type of women, and those women who I would deal with, I already knew wasn't right for me, but I dealt with them because they fulfilled that list that I had that didn't really matter or make sense. And so with that, it put me in crazy situations that I didn't have to be in. But like I said, I dealt with it because of just being comfortable with certain women, having access with certain women. But once they start crossing my boundary, instead of me leaving them alone, I would get to talking to other women. And then that led to other women dating, and then them realizing, oh, well, you have a girlfriend. Like, yeah, I do. But at the same time, it's like, why you act like you don't? Or why make it seem like you don't? And I always was told, like, I have a thing about me to have people feel like they're the only one. Now, I don't know if that's a gift or a curse, but it's something that I always have done until, like, I got engaged and then got married. But at the same time, I still viewed my ex as those women who I would, just choose based off of what I want and not what I needed. So I can honestly say, I already knew that my marriage was gonna fail, because at the end of the day, I knew it wasn't right, because I couldn't be my authentic self. I couldn't really be completely honest about who I am or who I was, where I came from, because I always felt that I may be judged for it. And it's like I really did not have what I thought I had. But that goes back to me always wanting what my parents had. Because seeing my mom and dad, like, they never put any trauma towards me and my little brother, ever. Like, yeah, I know no relationship is perfect. I know they went through their things, but at the end of the day, it was like they never made us be overwhelmed about their problems. And I really loved that about them. Cause like over time, like I really seen like they were really genuinely friends. And then that goes back to why I say I dealt with a lot, because I wanted that. And by me wanting that, is like I seen things that I shouldn't deal with. And I ain't just talking about my ex, I'm talking about just relationships before that. I was dealing with things that I knew I shouldn't deal with, but I was just willing to deal with it because I knew I was open to having a successful relationship. But like I said, I always went after women that I wanted, not women that I needed. So it started going from dealing with women on the sexual thing, because I always would go after women who I had more fun with. Like, and I went through and I dealt with a lot of good women, a lot of women who had a lot going for them and could be possibly everything that a man would look for. But at the same time, I didn't see them as that. I just seen them as, oh, well, you having fun with me, I'm having fun with you. So we go about our business after that. But at the same time, that showed me that I really did not love myself, because I was looking for validation from just women telling me how much they enjoy having sex with me. And then it had put me in a perspective of, do I really love myself? Especially now that my divorce is over with and I started, dating again. It's just like, well, what is more important to me? And all that sex stuff is like very minimum, especially now that I explored that to a real capacity. A lot of people probably didn't, but like it showed me how much I didn't value my life, because I still had women, like really today, like women would message me like, oh, well, since you and your girl not serious, you want to have sex or you want to come over? Like, no, I don't. I'm past all that now. And it's like, this where a lot of men fall short, because we never practice fidelity until we get married. And that's why a lot of men cheat. That's why a lot of men always resort back to dealing with different women, because it's easy to do. Because women out here, they're always willing to give it up. That's just how they move. And it's just like, it's more to life than just temporary satisfaction. Because at the end of the day, what happens after? Then you sitting there, and 9 times out of 10, you probably looking at things like, I probably shouldn't have done this. Especially when you know that person not right for you, but you're dealing with it because you're comfortable, because you used to them, you've been talking to them for a long time, but you know it's really not gonna work. And it goes with personally loving yourself. And I can honestly say, I probably didn't start loving myself until I split from my ex. Cause like, I really stopped going through faking it. I stopped wanting to not be honest with myself. Because at the end of the day, I was miserable. And it's like, a lot of people want to have happiness but still stay in miserable situations that they know will not help them out in the future at all. But because of everybody around us, like I said in the previous episode with me and Alicia, misery loves company, and a lot of people around you who are miserable and don't know how to seek that happiness will have you come right to them, and then all y'all just be a circle full of miserable people and search for temporary satisfaction to try to cover up your misery. And then from me being a broken young man and allowing people to disrespect my boundaries and me still deal with them, and it's just come down to me not really dealing with them on a respectful level, because it came to a point to where I was just dealing with them surface level and still be willing to talk to other people because I knew it wasn't right. And a lot of people, when we know things not right, that's why we start talking to other people. That's why we start branching off, because we're trying to find out who exactly can be for us when we know that situation that we're in is not right. But it's hard to leave that alone when you're used to it, when you put in all this investments and time and seeking family, talking to their people, learning people, meeting friends, everybody become close. And over time, it's like once that goes away, people do start missing you because everybody form a bond with that person outside of who you with. And it's very hurtful, but at the same time, people can't be mad at you for finally doing what makes you happy. And that's what a lot of outside family members try to do. They try to make you feel bad for really loving yourself and putting yourself first. Just like, say for instance, with a situation I had, and then their mother called me, and it was like, a real man wouldn't do that. A real man wouldn't leave. But at the same time, a real woman wouldn't do a lot of things that she did. So how you gonna get mad at me? Because I know for a fact, if I was your son, you would have been told me to leave that girl alone. But the fact that I'm not, and you're trying to not hold that person accountable, you're gonna point the finger at me and be like, I'm the one wrong because I made a decision that will affect my life and what will be best for my life. And that's something that I always say. We have to understand that we have to protect ourselves first. And a lot of times that comes with that self-love too, because we will love another person, we'll start to love another person more than we love ourselves. And then that will force us to make sure this person is all right, make sure that you're protecting them, their flaws, you're hiding things, protecting them, and then you start to not love yourself like you should. And it's unfortunate, but that's what us as people do. And I think the one way you start really loving yourself is really becoming honest and staying firm on your boundaries, because that's really something that everybody struggle with. Because like I said, just the pressure of me always wanting a successful relationship and not knowing how to do it or get to it, it was very difficult because I seen it. But dealing with multiple people and dealing with people that you care about, but you know at the end of the day, they're not right for you, but you still see potential in them. Because everybody has potential. You could easily look at anybody and have a thing in your head of, oh, this person could be like this if they just change this. But a lot of times, a lot of people are not going to do that. They're always going to be themselves. And you have to show grace, and you have to be so real discernment to figure out what's the right thing to do. And that's a problem that a lot of us have. But at the end of the day, we do have to go through messed up situations for us to be able to see where we need to be and who we need to be with. And I could really be honest about that as well. Like, since splitting from my ex, I really had a whole different outlook on life. That's the whole reason why I started this whole podcast. And it's starting to turn into just a lot of people who want to have somewhere to voice themselves. And it's okay because a lot of people going through the same things, and it's like really surprising. A lot of people are trying to figure out who's the right person for them. A lot of people dealing with abusive relationships. A lot of people dealing with liars. A lot of people dealing with family members that's making them stay in situations. A lot of people dealing with hurtful friends, liars, again. And we have to go through things to figure out what's the right way to go and what is the right way not to go. Because I can honestly say, from dealing with relationships with women, I see everything that I want in a woman and everything I need. And I can honestly say, for the first time in my life, I really have that. And it's messed up to say, because it's like the person who I thought could be that, it just wasn't it. Like, yeah, I had it pictured for it to be her, but at the same time, it just wasn't the case. But that's okay. I'm pretty sure that I'm turned out not to be the man who she thought I was going to be. But at the end of the day, it was like I couldn't keep letting things go and keep letting it get bad, because it already was bad. So it was like, we going to have to make something happen. And now that with that, my whole love for myself, like, I started back really playing basketball, and I'm be okay. Cause like every time I play ball, like everything goes away. And I started like really being in tune with myself, becoming more, going to church more, reading more, just getting back to loving myself. Cause like I said, I was protecting another person and not protecting myself. And that's really a problem that a lot of us have, is that we don't love ourselves the way that we should. We got to show appreciation to ourselves. Do what we got to do to make ourselves happy. And the right person for you, they will never have you feel bad or guilty about doing what makes you happy. And I can honestly say too, you can always find out who's the right person for you and who's not. Because the more you connect with a person and talk to them and learn more about them, and when you share things, when you see people be quick to use something they know about you against you in the littlest form or the biggest form, you already know that that's not the right person for you, because the right person is never going to use what they know about you against you. And that could be from the deepest, darkest secrets. Because a lot of people, you'll tell them a secret and they'll be sitting there, hold it against you and bring it up every time y'all have an argument, just because they want you to feel guilty and stay there. And that's a real crazy thing to me, because a lot of people, well, I hear stories about a lot of people really be stuck in situations because people are threatening them. Like, say for instance, like I said, I had somebody that actually tried to want to kill himself in front of me. Like, you doing this all because I'm saying, like, I don't want to talk to you no more? Like, that's crazy. But it's like, how you figure, like, if the roles was turned, and that's another thing, people don't like to reverse roles. Like, put yourself in your partner's shoes sometimes. Because a lot of things that you may do, if it was done to you, you know you wouldn't like it. And you would look at them like they crazy. But you feel like since you're doing it, everything's supposed to be okay. But things don't go like that. Like, we're getting older now. Like, that's things you used to do as a child. You know, children are manipulative. That's how they get what they want. They know how to cry when you tell them no, they can't have this. But as adults, we don't need to be doing the same thing, just in a different form. That makes no sense. But we all just need to continue to, like I said, embrace ourselves, love ourselves, be in tune with ourselves, set our boundaries, continue to have our boundaries be lifted. And that's all the love that you need to give to yourself. Being respectful to yourself, that's all you can ask for. And we just need to make sure that we always stay honest and work to be vulnerable each and every day. But the honesty starts with ourselves. Be honest with you. Understand and know what you want. Understand and know what you're looking for. Understand and know what you're striving for. and everything will always happen. And this is another episode. Tune in next week. And this is the weekly podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in next week.